Hello and welcome to Women Veterans Alliance, our Wednesday webinar. I am Melissa Washington. I am the CEO and founder of Women Veterans Alliance, and our primary focus is to connect women veterans with each other and resources, and we do that through our online and in-person networking and events. Just want to let everyone know that today is the final day for our logo design competition. If you're not aware, June 12th is Women Veterans Recognition Day. And this year is the 75th anniversary, and we're going we've asked people to submit logos, and there'll be a vote, and whichever logo is decided on, those will be put on shirts and other items for us to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the signing of the Armed Forces, the Women Integration Act, which officially allowed women to join the military.
Wow.
If you want to connect with us on social media, we are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, YouTube, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. As you can find, this webinar and other webinars will be on our YouTube channel. Also to visit our website. We have the only online directory for women veteran-owned businesses. We have a store. We have a directory of different women veteran monuments and memorials that are throughout the U.S. Also two great resources. You can also find a directory of other women veteran organizations, and also to find out more information about becoming a Women Veterans Alliance member. What we have coming up the rest of this month, as you can see here, you can visit womenveteransalliance.com, visit our website, and click on the webinars under events, and you can see our upcoming webinars for the month of May. We've got some great webinars happening. Also too, it's not too late. This Saturday is our Women Veterans Engage event. You can join us online, and we're also in person at 4 locations throughout the U.S., but it's going to be a great time for women to recharge and hear from these amazing speakers. And again, mentioning Women Veterans Recognition Day, which is June 12th, here in the greater Sacramento area. We've got a couple events. We're doing a fun run and parade and honoring women veterans, as well as our summer soiree, which is going to be an outdoor dining experience. And all those proceeds benefits Women Veterans Giving, which is our nonprofit partner. And if you've heard of the Unconference, that is our signature event. We will be in Las Vegas this year, September 8th through the 10th. And definitely you want to sign up for this amazing weekend in Las Vegas in September. Also, too, earlier this year, we launched veteran.event site. It's a calendar. We also have a directory of speakers. So if you are a woman veteran or a male veteran, and if you're a speaker, it's a great opportunity to get visibility out there for speaking engagements. You can visit that. And at the end of the presentation, someone will receive a gift card. So without further ado, I want to introduce Sergeant Jenna Lombardo. Was born in Brooklyn, New York on February 9, 1985, and has since become one of the most decorated service members in her field. She enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 2005 and was quickly promoted to the rank of sergeant within 3 years. While in the Marines, Jenna engaged in 2 combat tours of duty in Iraq and was selected to be part of the Lioness program, a group of women Marines who conducted intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance operations. After the Lioness program, she was selected to serve as a liaison to facilitate the development of joint projects and activities to foster greater understanding and collaboration between U.S. military personnel and Iraqi families. Throughout her career, Jenna has been awarded many recognitions, including being named Western Region Representative Woman of the Year in 2008, 9, and 11, and receiving the Marine Corps Meritorious Promotion in 2005 and Combat Meritorious Promotion in 2008. This was just the start of her awards, as Jenna also earned the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, as well as commendations throughout her career. Jenna is a great example of the bonds and greatness that come with serving the United States Armed Forces. Her story and accomplishments are an inspiration to those both serving and those looking to join the ranks of our military. So without further ado, Jenna, I will let you take it away.
Thank you, Melissa. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Change Your Mind with Plant Medicine. My name is Jenna, and I'm excited to have you all here today. We have a special guest with us, the Executive Director of the Mission Within, Ivy Lousy. She is a Marine Corps veteran as well, and a spouse to a Special Forces Navy SEAL. I guess I didn't need the Navy SEAL part or the Special Forces in there, but just, you know, a kick-ass couple So Ivy is a researcher and a pioneer with extensive experience in the field of psychedelic assisted psychotherapy. She's been a part of conducting numerous studies on the therapeutic use of plant medicines such as ayahuasca, psilocybin, and ibogaine. Today, we're going to discuss the therapeutic benefits of plant medicine and how it can help individuals improve their mental health and overall well-being. Ivy, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Jenna. Thank you very much for that introduction.
So can you tell, everyone a little bit about yourself and what brought you to psychedelic assisted therapy?
Okay, so yeah, first of all, I'm also, a 10-year veteran, yes, and married to Special Forces, NSW, for 33 years. So it's been a while. Yeah, it's a long time. But also with that, I have two kids that are also both graduated from the Coast Guard Academy, right? And one is a nurse. She's doing a whole lot of things. And my other one, my son is a lieutenant in the Coast Guard. He's stationed currently in Long Beach. So a family of military folks. So
family of service.
Yes. So anyways, that's kind of like my background. I used to be a personal trainer and a martial arts instructor for a while. Still do it, but not as much now. But that's kind of like the lifestyle, right? It's a lifestyle. So
Yes.
Both my kids are also in the martial arts. So we studied together.
Now, Ivy, when, I know you've known my husband, through the years. And when I first came to the Mission Within, I had come with a need, and you were my first line of support. And that experience going to Mexico and being able to participate, it really changed my life. And I'm incredibly grateful. I went about a year ago. So for me, I think it was 2021. When did you arrive to being called to this, purpose? I guess let's just start there. When did you arrive here? Because I know you've been in the space for a little while.
Yeah, I actually, I've known about this the Mission Within for a while, because a lot of our friends and my husband's co-workers have gone through the Mission Within. And so we heard about it. What brought me to this space was, after being married 30 plus years, there has been conditions, right, where I was literally a single parent because my husband deployed for, like, I want to say 13 years nonstop. So the whole time that my kids were growing up, but that neither here nor there, we don't know any different. And we have to take care of the home front. But I have known your husband since 2015, I think, is when we were stationed in San Diego at the time, and we went to a Bunker Labs meeting. And I met him there, and shortly thereafter, actually, we retired in 2016. My husband retired in 2016, and that's when he said, I think my wife would like to participate in one of your programs. Anyway, my husband retired in 2016. We went through in 2019, summer of 2019, which is, the Mission Within. We work through, oh my gosh, referrals. We don't market anything. We don't do any kind of, promotions or anything like that. It's word of mouth. So when your husband came, and I said, okay, well, we'll go. But going back to my story, in 2019, we were at the point where I think we needed something, talk therapy wasn't helping. And, you know, how can you, flush down 30 plus of marriage when you know that there is something there? So we had to do something. I mean, he went on his own and I went on my own. And I have to tell you, you have to have two willing people, you know, to get through it. And it's not a panacea, believe me. I mean, I went and did the psilocybin and the 5-MeO first. And I think 6 months later, I did the next one, the ibogaine and the 5-MeO. Yeah. So 2019 was when we first got started with this, with the Mission Within.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you, now I also want to address to the audience, because I'm sorry I didn't mention this. I'm not a very well-practiced webinar host, but I want to also invite those who are participating with us to raise your hand or type a question in the chat. I also want to note that in the chat, there's some resources there. Ivy and I had the ability to participate in the, not participate, but be in observance of all the new resources and research applications with active duty, DoD, and VA in regard to psychedelic medicine. And that's at the website that's in the chat, the SOF website. It also contains some great information around different research that's relevant to our talking points. Also, of course, the Mission Within is there, and also the Hope Project. And the Hope Project is a supportive organization to the Mission Within, because as we talk about the psychedelic, you know, experience, a huge part of how this process is going to work for someone is if they participate in a preparation and then an integration after that experience. So Ivy, can you speak to you know, where you see the intersection of psychology and spirituality in medicine and in these experiences?
Yeah, sure. We can, I don't like calling it psychedelics. I like to call it plant medicine, because psychedelics have gotten, a different tone with different people. Plant medicine to me is, it's been there for a long time, right? I mean, indigenous people have used it, and they use it kind of like a crossing that phase, right? Like for a lot of the guys that have gone out to like wars, they come back and they do this ceremony to cleanse them and everything. But I don't know what happened back, in the Western world, we don't do that because it's still schedule 1, right? Hence, we go to Mexico to do all these plant medicine therapy for our guys and even the women. So let me just go back. The Hope Project is actually an organization that helps women veterans, spouses, and their adult children, get treated for PTSD, depression, anxiety. And recently, I think they have been, they've merged with Heroic Hearts Foundation or Heroic Hearts Project. So yeah, the Hope Project is one of those things where it just started for women, and now it's getting bigger and bigger. And they support also the Mission Within for integration. So pre and post integration, which is the big thing. You can do this plant medicine, but if you don't do the integration prior and especially after your journey, it's not going to help you. It's only an opening, a crack in the door, like we say. Yeah.
When I, before I arrived at this option and opportunity for myself, I had done a lot of work in collecting all the right tools, right? The breathing, meditating, talk therapy, hypnosis, magnetic resonance therapy. I mean, there's probably something, acupuncture, there's things I'm definitely leaving out, but off of, the top of my mind, those are just some of the things over, a 6-year period, like very intensive, stuff. And nothing really worked for me it at least moved me in the way that I needed to be moved. Like the journey in Mexico. Now, I will say that all of that work helped me have the tools. So I was able to collect the right things to be prepared for the journey so that I could integrate the experience into my life after. So I do feel like there was, even unconsciously, working up to that point where I could dive a little bit deeper, and even still, even going into that, that weekend retreat, it peels back some deep things, but it's not everything. And so there's always still more room to kind of work on yourself. And so I guess it's good that the onion, peeling back the layers of the onion, I guess is a good metaphor for me anyway. But when I did go through with my journey, I participated in the psilocybin and 5-MeO DMT, and that was great. And it moved me in such a way where, over the weekend, there's this story that you're being told, and it's your story that you're able to observe from different points of view, and work through it, whether that's vomiting, screaming, crying. You're just able to feel through things in a safe container. When you arrive, you have maybe a full pack of, things that you need to that are a full pack of, of
gear.
weight. Yeah, it's just things that are holding you down, that are weighing you down. You might not even know what all those things are. I know for me, I made room for new things to surface. So I allowed myself to surrender to the process in a way where I was welcome to receive anything and meet anything that would come up. And that's not to say that I wasn't still a little afraid. I definitely was, but I also knew, well, all this other stuff is, I've tried all these other things. I've been to war. I've done X, Y, and Z. What am I afraid of? What, you know what I mean? The only one holding me back from moving through would be myself. And it's far more painful to stay there than it is to get through it, because I don't know what's on the other side of that. And I'm so glad that I personally, that I was able to break through to that. So can you explain to our audience what exactly plant medicine is and how it differs from traditional Western medicine?
Well, plant medicine has been on Earth for so many, centuries, right? It's been used so many by so many tribes. The difference is, it's something that people say, you can get addicted to, like SSRIs, right? Which is what the VA gives you. I can talk about that because, when I go to the VA, they give you all these medication. If something is happening with you, oh yeah, we'll just give you this. Oh, if it's not working, we'll just up the dose and everything. But plant medicine, I think what happens, it opens up pathways where you can go, okay, what is it that's holding you back? Like you said, Jenna, and be able to analyze, you either have a choice. It's the clarity and the purpose of why, why you're there. Why are you stuck? What do you need to do? And I would always say it's like recognizing, acknowledging, and your clarity of intention. You find that in the plant medicine. And I don't think plant medicine is anything, well, in anything you can have, what do you call this? Addiction, right? Some people will take the SSRIs as much as they can, they can't get off of it. And that's another thing, when the VA gives you all these medications, who's to say that, you're not going to get addicted, right? Oh, it's not addicting. Yeah, this is just good for you. You're not feeling better. We're just going to up the dose. With the plant medicine, I think when the difference is you can have like therapeutic therapy, like talk therapy, talking to a psychiatrist, psychologist, a therapist, you can be talking to them for 10 years and you still have not uncovered or unpacked whatever it is that you have been
Yeah, the root.
suppressing, right? The
Mhm.
difference is when you go to a retreat, and this is just my experience. Well, yeah, my experience, and I've seen so many guys and gals that have gone through the process that they go over there on a Friday, and by Monday they are, 99.9% of the people that have gone to Mexico have unpacked it. Now, unpacked it, but that's just the beginning, right? You have
Right.
to, the integration is the key, so that you can, when you say integration, we have a coach that we assign to these people that go through our retreats so that they can be assisted to kind of like figure out, okay, what is it, right? Unpack and analyze, why is it holding you back, And yes, the purging part is yawning, vomiting, whatever it is that they can, just to get rid of it, just get rid of it. So yeah, what we tell our participants is you got to let it go, because if you hold it back, it's going to be harder. Resistance is hard, right? You have to make room for the new growth. So yes, the neural pathways are being built. So it's kind of like, how cows, they go in the same direction. Well, you need to make other pathways. And you just have to, I say you just have to, it's a choice. We all have a choice, right? Yeah. Are you going to stay stuck, or because you have been given an opportunity to get unstuck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what it reminds me of? The painting, I can't recall what the name of it is, but it's the devil playing chess with the man, and I think it may be like defeated. It's something along those lines, but so the description is it portrays, this game of chess, and the devil is one, and the story goes a little something like, well, a chess master was, looking at this painting, and in his observance, realized, someone needs to change the title of this painting because this man has one more move, and I think the bottom line is you always have another choice. And, one of the things that is devastating to our entire community is suicide, and I think, if we can just speak, speak about our experiences, our struggles, and our successes, and how we're navigating all of that within our own community, we can help each other understand that you always have one more choice, and that may not be necessarily immediately, plant medicine. It might just be breathing and meditation, but, starting somewhere to, exactly like you said, get off of the opioids, because I think that's still somewhat of a struggle with the community, right?
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I would say is, plant medicine is not without risk, right? For anyone that's going to go through a treatment with the Mission Within, or with any other, I hope with any other providers out there, right? Facilitators, we do a health screening prior to them going through our treatment. And if they ever, let's say they're on SSRIs, we have to taper them off. What do you call this? Safely. And once they're off, they can go through our treatment. But like, for example, what we have too is the Ibogaine, and that's for addiction, mild TBI, depression, everything, anxiety, anger. It could be addiction to alcohol. It could be addiction to porn. It could be anything. What we have found is that, most of our clients, participants, when they are done with their treatment, they don't even want to touch any alcohol. They don't want to smoke. They don't want to, pornography, none. It's completely out. So, we can all go through the whole scientific thing of this plant medicine, but, it's been out there for a long time and it works.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
one of
Well,
the
and
things, right? One of
we're
the
not the
things that they,
doctors. The research is out there. If you know, I implore everyone who's participating today to take a look at the websites that
right,
we've shared. There's a lot of information on there. You can never do too much research into this. Do your own due diligence, you know, and we're just speaking from experience,
yeah,
you know, to be able to continue to promote this as an option, you know, and it's not an option for everyone. And we're not medical professionals, but we want to make it make it you know, aware and available, you know, that's definitely the goal. So especially for our country's veterans and their family members.
yes, there has been so many, like for our community, the SEAL community, we have had quite a bit of deaths recently. I mean, last year was, I think, 8, total 8. Well, this year, I think there's already 4, and it's only April. So, right, it's been challenging, and we see that. So, you know, for me, how much more research do you need in order to have it available for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I
that's the only reason we're doing it.
Yeah, that is and again, going back to that that slideshow in the SOF website, there's actually a part of that series. It will show you all of these Schedule 1, you know, what's qualifies as Schedule 1, and then where they're on track in terms of legalization, research, just overall availability, you know, for you know, working with it medically in our country. So it looks promising, and there's a lot of information, and yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and you know, if I can say this, you know, when you're going through a treatment, one of the things, and I know MAPS put this out there too, is the right setting, the right people around you. You can't be doing this on your own because it's dangerous, right? And you just don't know how it's going to affect you. And it really affects everyone differently. Yes, one can have a, you know, pretty calm psilocybin journey, and one could be, you know, yeah, a pretty not exciting, you know, but definite effect. Yeah, you have to be with someone, right setting, right kind of people around you, something that trust and confidence with the people that are doing the medicine with you, right? So, and we try to do this with other people. We don't do this as an individual because that also forms as a community. Once you come out of that therapy, that therapeutic journey, having people around you that have done it as well, makes a big difference.
You know, one thing I want to speak to is the safe container that's created in that environment, in that space. Can you go into detail about that setting and why it's so special?
Yeah, so for us, and I'm only speaking with the Mission Within, because that's, you know, that's kind of so for us, even before you get to Mexico, we go through the process of a discovery call. The discovery call, you know, we try to assess how this participant is going to fit into this container, right? And how this container is going to allow this person to have a good journey. So even in the beginning, we have this, you know, people that have worked with the Mission Within also have gone through their program. So they're well vetted, and yeah, and they find their purpose and they come in and join our team. But from the time that we do the discovery call to the time that we get them to our health screening, when they get to San Diego, I mean, this is kind of going to sound weird, but even before you get to Mexico to do your journey, the plant medicine is already working on you. And I'm sure you can speak for that, Jenna, because yeah, it will work on you. I mean, it's kind of like the red Volkswagen Beetle, right? You see one, and then all of a sudden you're being, I don't know, and then you see one everywhere, right?
Yeah,
A Volkswagen Beetle, right there. So it's a message, and sometimes it's a gentle nudge, right?
Mhm.
That you may want to experience, or it could be one of those things where it's like, yeah, you need to go, like tomorrow or something. But our program is a 6-week program. We take you from the very beginning all the way to the end. And once you're done with your journey, we still have, we have an integration calls that happen every week. And it's up to you. We don't force anybody to get on the Zoom call for their integration therapy, but it is highly recommended.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right.
When we are in the space, can you talk about, I know Dr. Polanco is, more on the, he has traditional Western training. And I noticed that you had, there were, doctors available or medical professionals available in the event that something occurred, although everything was completely calm and wonderful during the entire weekend. But can you speak to, not just the, the Oaxacan spiritual ceremonious aspect of it, of because even for the preparation, there is the fasting while we're there, there's movement, there's intention, there's these exercises that we participate in throughout the process in between the journeys. And so you're not, the whole weekend is not you going through this, intrepid, all day, 24-hour long experience. Although some of the journeys do have, can last several hours. It just depends on which plant is being discussed, but to get back to my point, that safe container not only has these ancient practices, but very much has the support of Western presence there in the event any kind of intervention is needed at all.
Absolutely.
Right? Am I kind of nailing that? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, first of all, when we on our retreats, we have 6 participants. And within those 6 participants, they've been assessed to come in. They've had their medical screening. And actually, when they get into the container, the house, we also have medical for that, just in case, because we're dealing with people that have issues. So maybe someone has a drinking issue. We want them to abstain from any kind of alcohol, cannabis. If they have to get off their medication, make sure that they tapered off. And once they get to the house, actually, we make sure that everybody's set in their own space. We have a therapist, an actual therapist that's leading. We call it the coach lead. And I believe in your experience, Jenna, we had, she was also a former Marine, Dr. Andrea Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
She's an actual therapist and did all of that. And actually she's Chilean. So she had a little bit of a shamanic flavor that she had brought in. And while you're in that space, we have a nutritionist, we have a support, we have everybody that's in that container is well vetted, and they are there for a right purpose. We didn't pick them off the street and just say, hey, you're going to be supporting this retreat. No, we actually, and Dr. Polanco. So let me talk about him for a little bit. Dr. Polanco got into this space, I think, way beyond, I want to say 2017, but he was working at Crossroads in Mexico, treating addiction. Okay, so he was already treating addiction, but at the clinic. and you know, he always talks about this, and the reason he got into this space was his sister was actually addicted to opioids, and they couldn't find anything that will help her. They were trying to get her off of it and everything, and nothing happened until somebody introduced ibogaine. Ibogaine is a very strong plant medicine. If you think about ayahuasca as the feminine, ibogaine is the masculine.
And it's a cactus.
What was that?
It comes from a cactus, right?
No, it's not. It comes from that's peyote. Ibogaine is from Africa, from a plant, and the experience is about 12 to 14 hour journey, and it's very tasking. So I have done that, so I can speak about it, but I will tell you it's very, very tasking. It's not for everyone. You have to have, you know, they'll ask you for, you know, if you have blood pressure issues, just a lot of things medically, they have to what do you call this, approve you to go through the ibogaine journey. And like I said, it's 12 to 14 hours, sometimes 16. So when they go through that, they go through it the whole day, which is usually a Saturday in our house in Mexico. So we get there on Friday, Saturday is the ibogaine treatment, Sunday is the 5-MeO DMT, and by Monday we're back in San Diego. So talking about the therapeutic part, right? You could be sitting in a couch for, I don't know, so many hours, right? 100 hours, 200 hours, and you haven't gotten anything. But when you go to a treatment like this, it's a totally different experience. Yeah. And it's hard to talk about it it's hard to talk about it sometimes because not everybody's open to it. Not everybody understands the spirituality part of it as well. And what you get out of it, it's not what you want to get out of it. The plant medicine will give you what you need.
You know, can I tell you one of the things that I got out of it that I not until much later, but it was because of that moment. I did not realize how I cut myself off from God. And, you know, it happened at some point, probably, you know, during my, you know, my military experience and the result of moral injury and, you know, compromising myself and my values and just, you know, all these things, right? And I had so much anger, and I didn't realize that, you know, what that anger did was, you know, I turned away from my relationship with God. And so essentially, you know, cutting that limb off from myself, you know, I just continued to bleed out, right? You know, making a lot of other things in my life so much harder. So, you know, when I had that, the spiritual connection, you know, when all of that kind of came together, even much later, you know, I had this moment of just like realizing like, my gosh, you know, maybe I left God, but God never left me, you know, and this great mystery we're a part of all the time, and it's always working around us. And I'm getting a little emotional, I'm sorry. But it's beautiful, you know, and it's nice to be awakened to remembering that, because it does make transition so much easier when you can reconnect yourself with a deeper meaning and, you know, understand that like my identity is beyond these name tapes and this rank, right? And you know, and it's a really beautiful thing, and it brought me back to the church. It brought me back to being able to serve my community in meaningful ways. So I'm incredibly grateful for the spiritual aspect of it, because I didn't realize how much I had severed that relationship, and it was nice to be invited back into it, although it had never left me, you know, one of the things I had also realized was, oh my gosh, you know, I don't have to just have a relationship with God when the shit hits the fan. You know what I mean? Like, I can be with God and God is always with me, but I can be with God, you know, just walking through my day, you know, and it's nice because actually it's like, what a load off. Honestly, it feels like there's a burden that is just kind of off of my shoulders because I have not only an established trust with myself, but with my faith, you know. It's really cool. And it was something going into the journey that I did not even, you know, I could never have imagined that that would be, you know, a part of the outcome. So
Right.
it's that I'm so thankful for that. And, you know, when I say like, you know, you don't, you know, have to just be with God when the shit hits the fan, it's like, how many times has God showed up and, you know, there's this divine intervention, or when the Holy Spirit speaks, you know, to us, you know what I mean? Hey, don't do that. You know, I mean, these are all moments that I feel like, hey, like that's really special, you know, that's divine, you know, and I don't want to take that for granted. And you know, so anyway,
Yeah.
I really appreciated that. And it just continues to show up and benefit me. The 4 days that I puked and sweat my butt off and, you know, cried and screamed and laughed laughed and laughed and laughed. I mean, it was just so good to feel those
Yeah.
things, you
Yeah.
know, and it makes feeling after a little bit easier as well. So,
Yeah. And I think, you know,
well, a whole lot easier.
yes, you know, people will say this is whatever, it's a God source, divine intervention, divine enlightenment, whatever it is, you know, whatever makes you feel, wow, awakened, enlightened, then, you know, it's good, right? It's not for everyone, but I have to tell you, I have seen enough of the guys and gals, and for someone to be able, like you, Jenna, to be able to experience this at an earlier age. I didn't experience this until I was 59. And I will tell you, you know, there's a lot of, and I didn't even know about this until, you know, recently, like a couple of years later, that, you know, you don't know what you don't know. But when it comes up, you better kind of like listen and pay attention, right? Yeah. At an earlier age, it would be so nice. So for me, this is for me to be able to do this at a point in my life where I can go, wow, you know what? That's really, it opened me up. It opened a lot of things up for me. And yeah, so now it's not about what is my life's purpose. What is my purpose? Why am I here? Right? Hence, now I'm working for the mission within. I say working, to me, I don't consider it work. I consider it opening up the door for everyone that is willing to come in and experience the plant medicine, because it's out there. It's not for everyone, because I do have some friends that are, you know, will come and call me every day and tell me all about their, whatever it is that's going on in their life that they don't like, you know, or whatever it is that's, you know, taking them, I don't know, depressing or whatever. I'm like, they know what I do. And all I can say is, you know what, whenever you're ready, let me know. And that's it. You know what? I think part of, you know, we can say it's out there. So, you know,
Yeah.
what is it? It's not going to hurt anybody. It's been out there for the longest, you know, it's not going to hurt you, not going to hurt, you know, and I will tell you, a lot more people are open to this. And I'm going to put this out there. The Mission Within is actually doing a study with University of Texas, Del Med, and we're doing the Gold Star spouses. And we actually changed the wording to Gold Star because there's so many, I mean, there's White Star, there's Gold Star, whatever. And we actually changed the flyer to reflect surviving family members. Surviving family members of veterans that are willing to go through the study, all they have to do is contact me, and I can refer them to the University of Texas Del Med in Austin. And it's a study to figure out, for prolonged grief, right? Like we all know someone that have either lost someone, and if they're interested in, finding out some more, then yeah, just go to our website, missionwithin.org. And right now we're actually doing that. And another one that we're going to be doing is military sexual trauma at the end of the year with the same University of Texas, Del Med. And I will say that, yeah, that should be an interesting one too, as well. Yeah. Currently, we have two that's going on right now, the one for the Gold Star and the one for special operators. We have funding for special operators. So if they qualify for the study, they have to go through the UT Del Med process, and then we treat them. What they do is they do an MRI and brain scan. Yeah, so they do a brain scan prior to going to Mexico. After they do the treatment in Mexico, they go back to Austin and they do another scan to see if there's been any new pathways in your brain. And yeah, I mean, these guys deserve, and gals deserve, a lot. And we all know this, and not everybody can afford it. So if they're willing to go through the study, yeah, why not? So if right now it's currently the soft people, special operators, male. And I am in the Women's Alliance, Veterans Alliance right now, but it's coming. So yeah, we need to be doing that. And I think we need to be doing a lot more for the women, because as we know, men have a lot of resources out there, right? Funding. And I think we need to have a little bit more say on what we do. We can do it. So yeah.
Are there funding options or grant opportunities, scholarship opportunities for some of the women veterans that might be interested in this?
They can go through the boot campaign, BOOT campaign. They can go through the website. And then there's another one, it's Heroic Hearts project. They have one, yeah, they do ayahuasca, they do ganglion block, they do all of that stuff, hyperbaric chamber as well. So if you are interested, you should apply. It doesn't hurt to apply. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. We have about 10 minutes, and I feel like that's the perfect amount of time to kind of open it up. If anyone has any questions or wants to chime in with any thoughts, to be a part of the conversation as well.
Yeah. I want to say thank you very much, Jenna, because you were part of the New York Times piece that the Mission Within did. So that's we got a lot of inquiries after that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Well, honestly, I'm I was trying to just get through this without crying, but didn't make it.
The spirit was calling you, so hey, let it go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's very good. Very good.
One of the questions I do have, maybe could you talk or speak to some of the questions you think, if there are women veterans or anyone really that is trying to navigate not only working with your organization, but just embarking on this journey, what questions do you think they should ask themselves as they're navigating, this starting this process?
I think for me, at this point in my life, if you are having issues and you cannot get past that, aside from the medication, I mean, why not try it? You know what? All they got to do is give me a call. That's it. Give me a call. Let me know, because we can all go through this whole thing, anxiety, anger, depression, and all of that stuff. Give me a call. Let's see what we can do. I mean, we can only help each other. Right? I mean, there is yeah, and it's not a negative, but there's a lot of resources for our male counterparts. The female counterparts, it's a little bit harder to get, and a lot of questions before. But if we can, I think if we can help our sisters, why not? You know, yeah. And I think if they can do it earlier, rather than carrying that backpack, the loaded backpack, 10, 15, 20 years, let's unload it now and have a better life. Because I will tell you, at my age, I'm going to be 63 this year, and having to go through that at 59, I wish I'd done it earlier. But you know what? It's all about timing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So we can only share our story and let everybody see, yeah, it's up to them to come in or not. But it would be great if they're having some issues. All they got to do is pick up the phone and call me.
What's the best way someone to get hold of you, Ivy?
Ivy at missionwithin.org. That's the best way. It goes directly to me.
Thank you.
Take questions.
No, this was very informative. I'm writing notes. This is
And Melissa, I'm
for
going to see you
me,
next
but
week.
to give to others. Though this is very, very, very informative, because knowledge is power, and the right knowledge, right? Getting the
Right.
information.
Yeah. Yeah. The experience is quite amazing. And I will tell you, you can only share your story. The right people will take it. And the ones that don't, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. It's not for everyone.
Thank you so much, Ivy. And just one more opportunity for any questions in the chat box, or if anybody wants to pop up and right now.
Thank you, Melissa, for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you both. Thank you, Jenna, and thank you, Ivy. This is good information. We'll definitely also to have the links out when we get this posted as well, all the sites that were mentioned, so people can easily click on those and get more information on all the great work you both are doing. So thank you. So thank you so much for that, especially too when it calling out when it comes to women veterans, that space as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us, Melissa.
Right. Nope. Good stuff. Thank you both.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.